Hello guys, today we're going to be taking a look at my elevator parts collection for 2024. I've definitely been collecting a lot over the years ever since I started a few years back, and this year is no exception. So let's get started. So we're still doing the split up tour where we start at the house and then go to the apartment. But a major change this year is that you actually see some buttons light up. So you'll get to see a little bit more excitement instead of me just pushing a blank button. Now, most of my parts still remain unwired, but some of them actually do light up. But it's definitely going to be a little bit more split this year. So I'm going to have to film in certain parts due to limited 9-volt batteries. Starting off, we got my Schindler linear lantern. This is California code, as you can tell. It does not have the lights in it, so I cannot make it light up. But it's more or less the same as other videos, so if you want to take a look at it, go to a previous parts video. Right next to it is a Dover Impulse lantern. This is more custom, which is very interesting. Here is a Dover car top station. Some very interesting switches. And some very satisfying buttons. Right here is my Innovation lantern. This is a new old stock one with the flush lanterns. Very interesting. It's like a 90s style, interestingly enough, because it has the older logo, or early 2000s. Here is my Dover traditional lantern. This is from, I believe, the parking garage of the Marriott River Rock in San Antonio. I got this from Rafe, so huge thanks to him, aka Grayish Valley. And of course, this lights up. I think the lights might be dead, unfortunately, but these light up like they always have been, so it's nothing too interesting. Over here we got a PTL VR lantern. This is a 2010 style, or newer. It's pretty much brand new, I believe. And right next to it is a Dover Vano-resistant lantern, but this is from the ThyssenKrupp era. This is actually pretty much brand new, which is neat. So right here is a random collection of elevator parts I've been messing with, so we'll get a quick look at them. Right here is an ERM call station. Very weird to press. Pretty big too. And I'm not so sure what this is. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard this is a Schindler hot button. Believe L series? It's a very weird one. It was taken out of a demolished building. I think a hospital, if I recall correctly, but the building this came from is long gone. Right here is a weird Dover traditional fire service panel. The good version of traditional, the push button. Very satisfying to press. Also has a fire key, which uses the same key as my impulse call station. You've seen it before. Right here are some parts for a GL black button call station from a Burlington elevator, or Dover. It's kind of a mess, so this is very scuffed. But I just need to make it like a custom board for that, but that's going to be a project for another day. Here is a Cutler hammer call station. This is very cool. I like how this looks. And right here is one of my favorite pieces, a Otis Bakelite black button call station from like the early 1900s. I believe this came from a manual elevator. Came out of Reading, PA. So I'm not so sure if the building this was from got demolished or ruined, but at least I have it. Probably one of my favorite parts, honestly. But sometimes the button gets stuck up here, which is very weird. Now it's time to go to the apartment. Let's go. So let's first start off with the lantern window, as I like to call it. Here we got an Otis Series 1 lantern, right here. Right over here we got a Westinghouse lantern. Schindler also used this design, but this is Westinghouse. An Innovation lantern, an older one. A Dover traditional lantern, but this is from the ThyssenKrupp era. Right down here we got a Montgomery lantern, which is interesting. And then we got this lanky Mad lantern. It looks goofy, but I like it. We also have an M-Tech lantern, which I rarely see M-Techs. I've only found 2 as of the recording of this video. A Dewhurst lantern with the pyramid-shaped lanterns, which is pretty cool. a monitor lantern, a custom innovation lantern, and right here we got a Westinghouse lantern with the dinner bell as well. I'll go ahead and ring it. Oh, it's upside down. Very interesting pitch. Whoa. Very interesting pitch. We also have a little COP section. I got a few more COPs since last year. Got a Diablo elevator with EFCO circle line. And it does light up. Well, these two do. Door open, alarm, and the stop switch. Very interesting. We also have an armor COP with these square buttons. This thing has seen better days. And some of these buttons are in terrible shape. Then again, most armor fixtures hold up horribly, especially the more flat buttons like the square and the circle buttons. They're just so cheap and not very reliable. But I've never seen this fixture out in the field, so it's very interesting. This one especially likes to get stuck. Here's the logo. And here's my Otis Series 1 COP. So, not much to say here. Key switches. And the indicator with the cover taken off. Right here is basically my ThyssenKrupp shelf. So here we got a new old stock ThyssenKrupp Signa 4 lantern. This actually came brand new and it was never used. Paid a good bit for it, but I definitely think it was worth it since I like Signa 4. Here's a Signa 4 call station with mad atoll. Something happened with the base, so that's why you don't hear it click. Also came with the keys. This is also new old stock. I got this from the same package deal, but separate purchases. But definitely worth it. Here we got a Mad BS Classic call station. I absolutely hate this fixture, but it's in brass, so I guess there's that. But this fixture just sucks. Not very satisfying at all, but I do like the brass, and there were many of these sold, so I thought, why not? Here is a ThyssenKrupp Aurora call station with Signa 4 buttons. You heard that right. As you can tell, it's very clicky and doesn't press in all the way. Regular Aurora actually pushes in all the way and it's very mushy. This is obviously Signa 4 buttons. Retrofitted on for some reason. And right over here we got a Northern lantern. And pretty cool. I've seen a couple of Northerns. They're not very common to come across, so pretty cool to own a Northern part. But yeah, pretty interesting shelf. Here's basically my miscellaneous window. We got a Fujitech button. This is Avian. And this has got to be one of the most unsatisfying buttons I've ever pressed. Like, wow. It is so lifeless. Right next to it, we got a Kone KSS 570 call station. Then again, this doesn't press much better. Honestly, it's very flat. Right here is a new old stock Schindler HT lantern that would have been installed on a 330A. This one's from 2016 and was never used, which is very interesting. Right over here we got a Schindler MT call button. It does light up. And you are not dreaming, you are seeing this in real time, well, on video. This is a Schindler Z-line panel that would have been used on a Myconic 10. This one was made in 2011 and was never used. This is actually my only international purchase, but the deal I got for this was well worth it. I've not seen a Myconic 10 or the ID variant of Myconic 10 out there, so this is really cool to own. Keypad is very satisfying as well. And I'll show you guys the back side. I would like to get this working, but that might be a little tough. Probably one of my favorite pieces, well, outside the Bakelite Otis. But this is like top 3, top 5 for sure. Really cool piece. Now we take a look at the Otis shelf, and my goodness, there's a lot. So right over here we got an Otis Series 1 call button. This is the older version with the flat buttons. Right here is a newer style Otis Series 1. Right next to it is Otis black button. Pretty cool. And then we also got Otis Lexan. This is one of my newer additions. It does light up. Right over here we got an Otis Micromotion button, Series 4 style, or some people call it New Series 4. Then we got the new old stock Otis Janus phone. Just I don't know why I bought, but it was new old stock, so why not? And then we got an Otis Series 5/6 lantern. Obviously this one's actually from the Series 6 lineup because it's from 2012. But definitely a display for sure. It's taken over my nightstand. Here is my indicator window. We got an Armor indicator right up here. Right behind it is an EPCO flush line indicator. There's the US indicator with the circle buttons. And of course we also got the SCE indicator here. I'll probably just get rid of this because I'm not interested in it. It's just here for right now. Alright, we are finally on to the main display. We'll start with the Dover shelf. We've got a Dover Impulse COP right here. Well, part of a COP. Here we got a Dover Impulse lantern. As you guys know, this is my first ever part. Right next to it, Dover Impulse call button. Pretty tall one with fire service key, but I don't have the key on hand at the moment. Right over here we got the iconic Dover Impulse call station with the turn dial. Very weird part, but I'm glad I got it. It's my second part I ever got, right alongside this. Over here we got the flimsy style version of Dover Traditional. It does light up, but very dimly. Surprised it works with 9 volts. Right over here we got the good version of Dover Traditional. This is a interesting one. I think you gotta tilt it a certain way to get it to light up. It's very weird. There we go. I like how this turned out. Pretty cool. So I'm definitely going to have to film this section in parts because I don't have a lot of 9-volt batteries to work off here, but this is where most of my buttons light up, and it's a lot. Here we got a CJ Anderson call station. It's very noisy. It's from Rosenberg Elevators. We got a GLVP call station. And right over here is an Armor call station that I got from Rafe again, so huge thanks to him. And the wiring job is butched on this, but both buttons light up when one is pushed, so I think it has to do with the bulbs itself, not, well, the bulb holders, but it's very weird. Right here we got a Westinghouse Type A call station, and is not very satisfying at all. Right over here is a call station from the service elevator over at the Hilton Palace Del Rio, I think it's called. From Texas, I got this from Rafe as well. This is a custom-made call station. Well, the plate is custom to add fire service and stuff, but pretty interesting part. Right over here we got a Westinghouse call button with Atom Survivors. This is the custom one that some people like to call RT, but I've seen no proof of that. I've just seen Survivor and PEP. That's about it. Right over here we got the Atom Survivors Plus call station. I bought way too much for. And the bottom portion lights up, but the top portion is like 200 volts, so it's not going to light up. Right next to it is EPCO SSL-H. This was everywhere. I think this one has died, but this one up here works. I think this is EPCO SSL. It's like a weird version of it with a weird plate. It looks very old, but it's very interesting. Right next to it is a PTL Performer call station. It's actually the first part I ever wired, weirdly enough. And right next to it is the Innovation Universal call station that came from an eyeline station I got from Rafe as well. So, but it does not work. I tried experimenting with different bases, but it just does not work. It's a very specific base. Oh well. Right over here we got an Adams Designer call station that I tried to restore it, and it went horribly wrong, as you can tell. Right over here is my Dover vandal resistant call station, and it's very tall. Also has a keypad for whatever reason. This looks very ThyssenKrupp-y, or from the ThyssenKrupp era, but it is Dover, believe it or not. And right down here is still the, well, I just noticed that fell off, but this is my Otis black button rotodial call station, and it's still in pieces. I just need to make a custom base for it, or box for it. But that's going to be a project for another day. I don't know if that's going to be coming next year or not, but we'll see. Anyways, that will complete my parts tour of this year. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time.